Hello, my audience. I'm Jake Allen Graham. This is my review on the Blade Trilogy with Wesley Snipes that takes place in the multiverse of Marvel Studios. Now we know that takes place in somewhere in the multiverse. Now that we know the Blade is now brought back. That takes place in these Blade movies take place in the multiverse of the Marvel Cinematic Universe multiverse, within the multiverse of created by 616. The multiverse takes place in thanks to a Deadpool movie called Deadpool and Wolverine that brought back Wesley Snipes' version of Blade from the Blade movies. And it's explained the movie. And it brought him in for a cameo and didn't kill him off. Kept him in the movie. And I enjoyed him more in the Deadpool movie than I did in the Blade sequels. Wesley Snipes. I think the best Blade sequel he got was the third Deadpool movie. The third Deadpool movie I thought was as good as the first Blade movie. The first Blade movie, I meant to say. With Wesley Snipes, I give a 10 out of 10. The first Blade movie. The last two Blade movies, Blade sequels with Wesley Snipes, solo Blade movies, I give those a 8 out of 10 for a mediocre score. I did not love them. I thought they were kind of underwhelming, didn't left the most positive impersonation on me. Yet, the movie was just a little lacking some spectacle or lacking something. I don't know what it was. It wasn't gore. It was lacking something. The comic book magic. The excitement. It wasn't exciting as like the first one was. I don't know. I liked the first one a lot. I didn't really love the sequels a whole lot. I thought the sequel was kind of a letdown. And it got worse with Blade 3. But I think I know why I think it got worse with Blade 3 than Blade 2. Because, well, I feel like Blade 2 is a mess, but it knows how to use the best out of Wesley's charm and his acting. It knows how to get so good. I think the thing is, I think the first sequel to Blade movie, the plot is absolutely a fucking mess. Has way too many loads of characters and too many twists and turns, and it's like juggling too many things. Us villains and heroes that turn out to be actually villains, and there's just too many juggling so many ideas. Goes nuts. And it goes more nuts as in third act. It goes 180 nuts in the third act. When we get to the third act, at the end, near the end, it goes even more nuts and more nuts and more nuts with this ludicrous plot, and gets very creative with it. And the reason why I think it hits all the right points with so many majority of audience, except for me, with the exception of me, because this movie still got a hell of a good performance out of Wesley Snipes and knew how to use Wesley Snipes to his best performance. the first two Blade movies was Wesley Snipes. Knew how to use Wesley Snipes and get a good performance out of Wesley Snipes. And for some reason, Blade Trilogy did not know how to use the best for Wesley's the best screen shots. It didn't use most of the time you don't get the best final shots performance from Wesley Snipes as Blade, like as memorable as he should be. Like Blade's not the best. Like Blade is the best part of the movie still. I still think he's like of the Blade movies in the third Blade movie, but I don't know. The movie, his performance is a little is not as, doesn't feel as human, as human. I know that's kind of weird because Blade in the comics and the movie mythology is a vampire that's born from a human. That's part human, part vamp. That's kind of a vampire, but don't have any of the weaknesses of the vampires that your standard vampires that you used to see in films and the ones in the Blade movies. But I'm just saying, like, based on Wesley's performance as himself, something's off with his performance in the third installment of the Blade installment to Blade Trinity from 2004. I don't know why, but both different directors directed different to the first two Blade movies. And both different directors knew how to use the best out of Wesley Snipes' performance, and it's just in ways. Blade, the third installment, doesn't know how to really doesn't really use the best footage, the final footage for Wesley Snipes' performance all the time. In the third Blade movie, it's not always the best performance. Sometimes a little flat than I would think you want it to be. It's like not as sticking your head as much. His performance doesn't feel as iconic as it had felt in the first two ones. And unique. And human relatable. That's what my problem is with Blade 3 mostly. Well, I think it's the weaker out of the bunch trilogy now that I'm thinking about it. But I think the best Blade movie is the first one. If you want to just watch the sequels out of curiosity's sake, okay, but you might want to watch the first one first, because the first one I actually thought was a good movie, and the sequels were more guilty pleasures for mine of dumb on top of stupid fun. Like my feeling sort of like was your standard Marvel crap within the 616 universe timeline, brought to you by Marvel Studios and Disney, owned by. So, I give the sequels a 8 out of 10, and the first Blade movie a 10 out of 10, because it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I love every fucking moment of the movie. I thought the story it felt epic and intense and scary, And great horror, great action elements mixed into it, all the above, and it's great comic book magic, feels like. And it just earns my seal of approval. I give this a 10 out of 10, the first Blade movie. And that's my thoughts on the Blade trilogy with Wesley Snipes. Blade, as Blade. The only Blade. Next to the Blade TV show that has played Blade in live action. I will talk about the Blade TV show some other review. That's without Wesley Snipes, but that deserves a video for itself because I need to see all the episodes, and that's a bit of a hassle. It can be because the show wasn't that great of a show from what I've seen, but I want to revisit anyway and talk about it anyway because it don't remember be awful. That Blade show was a different actor played Blade that time in live action. So, that's my review on the Blade trilogy with Wesley Snipes, Blade, and hope you enjoyed the review, my audience, of this video. Hit the subscribe button to grow my subscribers, hit the like to grow my likes, hit the, my dry mouse is a little dry now, so, and hit the comment below. Let me know which of this video. Bye. Evening. Make another video. Some other type of this review. Another. I'll just let you get going. And looking for the off button right now. Forgetting which one's the off button right now. Okay. Ah, here it is.